Okay, so do you see what I've got here? I just cut all that away. Now it's going to be really easy to slide these roots. Well, I'm saying that, and this little part right here is catching. This is the only problem with these orchid pots. Your orchid roots go straight through those holes. That's where they go to. And I don't like to damage any roots when I'm repotting. Work slowly, work carefully. Like, plan on an hour and a half to 2 hours for a repot. That way, if it only takes you an hour, then you can pat yourself on the back. Okay, I'm going to keep some of this as well, because this has been what this orchid's been used to, and I'm going to put plenty of fresh bark in there. But this is just going to kind of help acclimate this orchid. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm trying to get this unstuck from the side. So you work gently, and I can feel the roots giving way. See, I've made progress. Look at how much bark is gone from up here. Okay. It really helps when you can do this outside. That's why I'm really encouraging you all to do all of your repotting this time of the year. It's nice out here. It's easy. You can make a mess outside, sweep it up, and not a problem. So see, this is the progress I've made so far. You're just gently squeezing the sides of the pot, because you see how these roots are just like everywhere. Okay, this is what I've got so far. My husband helped me cut all the way through this. Do you see I've cut all the bottom of the pot? Be really careful as you had to I had to rotate this a little bit to get all the roots away from this side of it. And then he just took the scissors and made little tiny cuts all the way down. So it's almost out. I'm excited. Okay, as you see, this root right here is rotted. Okay, look. I'm going to cut it right up to here, to the good stuff. Okay. To the good stuff, that's funny. You see what I'm saying though? But see, this is a good part of the root, and then it goes into a bad part of the root again. So I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to cut it to right here. Yeah, see, that one's rotten. Don't want that in there. Okay. I've got some more, not a lot, but some more in here that I'm going to have to tend to. I'm going to look at the connections. When I talk to you about the connections, this is what I'm talking about. If this part of this root was rotten, I could just, this little segment right here, I could just cut it right there, but this was fine. This one's fine. But like right here, just pull all this dead stuff out. You don't want that going in your new bark. This right here, I'm going to cut this right here, like this, right there. Okay. Now this is what a beautiful root system looks like. These silver roots right here don't go down in the bark. This is a little bit different than in water culture. If you're going to put this down in water culture, you could put these in bark. I mean in water culture, but not down in bark. So these are the ones that I had down in the bark. From here, see how it kind of makes a little, you make a little pot with your hand right here? I had from here to here in bark. Okay, what I want to do is I want to use those packing peanuts, and I want to plant these roots in the packing peanuts because they're not used to bark. So that's what I'm going to go with. I have thought about this a long time. So I'm going to pack these down in the peanuts, packing peanuts. This part goes in the bark. All right, next. Okay, so here are the decisions that you have to make. This is going to be down in the peanuts. And I've got coils and coils and coils of roots here. So you kind of have to gently work with them to get them where you want them to go. And this is going to be, see this pot is it even going to work? I'm going to try to make it work because this is the biggest pot I have right now. So let's see what I come up with. Okay, I was wondering if this was going to work or if I was going to have to go buy another pot. But these just sit down in here. So this is going to be good because it's going to give it some extra room to grow. So what I'm going to do is the bottom half of it, I'm going to be filling in with peanuts. Okay, as you go through this process, you tap down on this pot really often. That's another important thing to remember. You're wanting everything to settle towards the bottom as you're potting. Do you see how even that made the roots kind of settle down in there? So when I put the media down in there, it will all settle down together. Okay, what I'm wanting to do, see this hole? I'm wanting to put stuff down in this hole as well. If you don't, your orchid, the middle of it will kind of cave in. You don't want that. You want to put it all around and on the sides. Tap, keep tapping down because it's going to find those little spaces and your roots are going to fit down in there better too. Okay, this is about the time when you get about halfway up that you want to make sure that you've got everything centered in your pot. If you go any further up than this and then you try to center it, you're going to have to start over from the bottom. So when you get this much in, make sure you got everything centered right. It'll save you a lot of time. I learned that the other day doing that other one. Yes. And how am I sure that these styrofoam peanuts are going to be good for this one? Because the roots were all standing, those bottom roots I showed you, they were all on this. They're used to this stuff. It's the same material. Okay, here I've got my air roots over here. Remember I told you not to put those down in the pot because these have been in the air. Okay, now, do you see how much I've got down in there now? It's all packed, really tight. Okay, now I'm going to start with the bark because these roots have been in bark for 3.5 years. So I want to put them back in their environment. So that's what I'm going to start filling in with now. Okay, so I'm putting it in, tapping it. Then I'm going to go to the opposite side. Tapping it down. This is working out well. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing with this now. Wasn't sure it was going to fit down in here. So what I've done is the roots that were used to the bark are back in their bark. The roots that really weren't used to any media at all, because they just decided to do their own thing, they're down in those packing peanuts. Okay, gotta stop and tap. And that's going to find all those little cracks and crevices down in there. Kind of work it in. Okay. You want to be careful with these roots. That's the other thing. Okay, keep going. This is starting to shape up. I like it. I really appreciate my husband filming this for me. Thank you. Okay, this is starting to look. Let's put some more over here. Some smaller chunks. I kind of go smaller chunks, bigger chunks. Ah, I can't forget the chunks it was in. Kind of want to put those in there so it feels like home. Starting to fill up here. see what we've got. Well, it's a wrap. Gonna give it a good water. And there we go. Put a little bit more in right there, but I think that looks good. I didn't damage the roots on the bottom. Wow. I'm glad. These roots are fine. Everything looks good. This is going to be its home. It's going to be happy here. Happy orchid. Thank you all for coming along and watching me. And you all be highly favored, deeply loved, and greatly blessed. We'll talk to you all another day.